Have you ever met someone who seems to pick up anything instantly? Like they just glance at a book and suddenly they're an expert? While the rest of us struggle, rereading the same line 5 times. Here's the truth. It's not talent. It's not even intelligence. It's strategy. And once you know it, you'll never learn the same way again. Because science has finally cracked how the brain really learns. And what they discovered? It's not what they teach you in school. In fact, school might be the reason you're learning slower than you should. But today, that ends. Today, I'm giving you the blueprint to learn anything 10 times faster, backed by neuroscience, psychology, and high-performance research. And yes, this is the exact method used by elite performers, memory champions, and even Navy SEALs. Let's start with a simple truth. Your brain doesn't learn through repetition. It learns through emotion. That's right. The more emotionally charged something is, the faster it's stored. Think about it. Do you remember your last math class? Probably not. But I bet you remember the exact moment someone broke your heart. Same brain, different emotional impact. So the first step to learning faster? Make it matter. You need to create emotional hooks. If you're learning a new language, don't just memorize words. Visualize a moment where you're speaking fluently in Paris, making a stranger laugh, ordering wine like a local. Now you've got dopamine. Now your brain's listening. Next, you need to stop reading and start testing. The biggest mistake people make is this. They consume information passively, watching videos, taking notes, highlighting pages. But real learning only happens when you struggle. It's called active recall, and it's the #1 technique used by top students in medicine, law, and engineering. Here's how it works. Instead of rereading, close the book and try to recall the main ideas from memory. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. That's the point. Every time you retrieve info from your brain, you strengthen the neural pathways. It's like doing reps in the gym. Painful, but powerful. And guess what? Studies show active recall beats passive studying by up to 50% in retention. That's not a small edge, that's domination. Now let's talk about something even more powerful: spaced repetition. The human brain is designed to forget. It's a survival mechanism. But what if you could hack that process? That's what spaced repetition does. Instead of cramming information in one sitting, you review it at increasing intervals. Day 1, day 3, day 7, day 14. And every time you review, you hit the save button in your brain. Apps like Anki and RemNote use this principle, and they're behind some of the world's fastest learners. But even without an app, you can apply it. Make a simple schedule, set reminders, test yourself. The key is timing. Review right before you forget. Now, here's something nobody tells you. Multitasking destroys memory. If you're scrolling your phone between flashcards, you're not learning. You're burning mental energy. The science is brutal. It takes the brain 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. That's the cost of a single notification. So, if you want to learn fast, you need to go deep. Turn off the noise, set a timer, give your brain the space to think. This is called deep work, a concept popularized by Cal Newport, and it's how high performers achieve more in 1 hour than most people do all day. But here's the catch. Deep work is painful at first because we're addicted to distraction. But once you push through, you'll feel your brain shift gears. You'll enter flow state, that magical zone where time vanishes and everything just clicks. And that's where real learning happens. Fast, effortless, permanent. Now, let me tell you a story. In 2008, a guy named Josh Kaufman wanted to learn a new skill, the ukulele. But he didn't have years. He had 20 hours. So he broke the process down, focused only on the essentials, and practiced deliberately. The result? He could play full songs in less than a week. Why? Because he used a principle called the first 20 hours. It's simple. You don't need 10,000 hours to learn something new. You just need to cross the frustration barrier, those painful first 20 hours where everything feels awkward. Get through that, and the magic begins. Now, combine this with something even more underrated: sleep. Yeah, I know, boring, right? But listen closely. Your brain doesn't store memories when you're awake. It stores them when you sleep, especially during deep sleep and REM cycles. Skip sleep? You're skipping consolidation. One study showed that sleeping after studying increased retention by up to 40%. That's massive. So if you're pulling all-nighters, you're literally learning less. Rest isn't a luxury, it's a learning tool. And speaking of tools, let's talk about mental visualization. This one is used by world-class athletes and memory champions. Why? Because your brain can't tell the difference between something vividly imagined and something actually experienced. That's why visualizing yourself solving problems, speaking confidently, or performing a task trains your neurons before you even act. It's like a mental flight simulator. Do it daily, 5 minutes, eyes closed, full emotion, and you'll see results that feel like cheating. Now here's something uncomfortable. Perfectionism is killing your learning. Most people wait until they feel ready. But learning isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to suck at first. That's how you get feedback. That's how you grow. Ever watched a baby learn to walk? They fall a lot, but they never say, "Maybe walking isn't for me." You shouldn't either. Now let's flip the script. The best learners in the world, they teach what they learn. It's called the Feynman technique, named after Richard Feynman, Nobel Prize-winning physicist. Here's how it works. You study something. Then you explain it in simple terms, like you're teaching a 5-year-old. If you can't, you don't understand it yet. This forces clarity. It exposes gaps, and it makes your brain connect the dots in a way that passive reading never will. Now let me ask you something. How many times have you said, "I'm just not good at learning"? Be honest, because that belief, that's the first thing we're deleting today. Learning is not a gift, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained, sharpened, mastered. The only thing in your way is the method. And today, you've got the method. So what will you do with it? You could forget all of this in 10 minutes, or you could apply just one strategy today. Start with active recall, or spaced repetition, or even just 20 minutes of deep work. Whatever it is, do it today, because every skill you want, every dream you have, is on the other side of learning. Faster learning isn't a nice to have, it's a superpower. And now, it's yours.